Okay, back again. Yesterday I didn't do a lot. It's one of those things. So I've cleaned this up. Well, basically just cut off all of this bad rust that was here. This was there, and that's where it attached to the tubular here. Very thin steel in this area. It's basically just nothing. So I've hacked it all away. I've just cleaned it up with a wire wheel now, and I just thought I'd show you something. It looks like someone has maybe tried to repair this before by putting something across in its past life to save this, because there's a couple of welds in very strange places. I understand what this weld is. That was a seam weld that went all the way around, but there's a wear mark here. I don't know if you can pick it up, but it's like dished in, and there's three spots I can see there. I'm wondering whether someone has wrapped a piece of steel around it and then sort of carried it forward. Maybe they carried it to wherever the old frame was originally to keep it on the road, and then maybe it had given out. Because I don't know why that would be there. It's obviously a rub mark. I can see lines going this way, so I'm thinking maybe it was a grinding wheel. Maybe? I'm not too sure. I'm guessing this was just a single tube that was welded at the factory, continuous welded, and then I don't know what those holes would have been. Although I haven't been on the inside of this yet, there may be sort of baffles in there or something like that for the springs. I'm not too sure. But anyway, that doesn't really concern me right now. So what I'm trying to do is make this to that to this. So this side here is fairly good. Up under here. So this top edge looks fairly good to me. But that's how thick it is. So it's not far off original. It's just a lot of surface rust there. It seems to get quite good there. I'm in two minds. Normally I just want to get rid of the whole lot and start fresh, but I'm not too sure. Anyway, I've just done a 90-degree angle here, and I'm just going to run a straight bar straight to it. There's only an ever so slight curve there. I think I'll be able to get away with just running a straight one to there, and then finishing this fillet off here, a really good nice solid weld there, and then I'll probably do the same with the other side, and then I might flip the whole thing over and then do the back end, because it's still a little grubby under here. So you can see the pitting that there is, but I reckon I'll be okay. It's not too bad. It's only sort of localized. There was like a cap sort of like this. You can see it on the other side there. That cap there, it sits on top, must have harboured a lot of moisture. So if you look at it, it's just pitted all the way under there. So I may throw some weld into some of these larger holes, but I think generally I'm just going to leave it and put a new box section in. I'm gathering it's at the same height as this, so I'll just run a straight edge and then box in another section there. I'll probably, it looks like it only had four little welds. What I'll probably do is continuous weld, just to really strengthen it right up. And I'll use some really thick gauge steel, 2.5 mil, 3 mil. That original one looks like it was only, 1.5, 1.6, probably the same thickness as the floor, the sheet for the floor, but because it's already bent. So anyway, just thought I'd show you that. So what I've done now is I've just got my trusty rust converter here, and in these areas that I've cleaned, I'm just going to paint it on. And then what I do is I won't do it all now, but I'll let that set up, do its thing, and then what I do is I come back, and if I see any red, I re-hit that area that's still red, because I know it hasn't worked, and then I'll just come through with the grinding wheel and clean up the area that I need to weld to even further, so it's back down to bare metal. So I'll just do that now, and yeah, I'll bring you back. But you can see how bad this was. It's just non-existent. So I mean, in some areas it's quite thick, but by the time you start cutting 2.5 to 3 mil thick steel, if you imagine I was going to repair this, sorry, I'll pan out. Say for instance I was going to repair that, I'd have to cut out all of that and then go to another one and cut out a piece. So that's about 1.5 feet of cutting right there. Then that's also 1.5 feet of welding, and then here, so you start to get real grubby then and messy. The top of this down the bottom was all gone. The inside is fairly bad, so I'm looking at about 3 feet of cutting steel and about 3 feet of welding, then about 3 feet of grinding. So sometimes it's easier just to cut around, gouge it all out, and then just measure. I mean, I made up a paper dolly yesterday, and on a paper pattern. It's basically, so I'll just change hands here. It's basically that, and it takes into account the slight bend. So this is the top section here of the box, this is the cutout for the tube, and it sort of fits along there like that, and then matches up. It's a bit hard to do it with one hand, but I looked at it and thought there's a lot of bugger rising around, so just one continuous bar to there. I'll probably run the top edge as high up as I can, so it makes it easier here to finish it off. Anyway, I'll bring you back.